Good evening, good evening, good evening. Welcome to RJH livestream. Wednesday, 6th of October, 2021. So welcome everybody, good evening, and what a beautiful day it has been today too. Wow, what a beautiful morning. Mind you, 6:30 start for me this morning. Well, actually 5:30 up, down to the training yard for 6 o'clock. Pitch black cold, all the thermals and everything on. But then by sort of 8, 9 o'clock, the sun came out. And it wasn't a bad day after all. Yeah, dry, crisp, quite a good biking day. So yeah, not bad. But anyway, welcome to RGH livestream, Wednesday, 6th of October, 2021. Trust you're all well. Trust you are all well. So the traditional well dones and congratulations, I will start off with those. First of all, top of the list, Team RJH. Well done, everybody, for your continued hard work. In what has been quite a challenging week or two, weather-wise, and then with everything else, fuel shortages, test shortages, examiners going off sick, different things like that. So well done to Team RJH. Congratulations to all those that have come through, started the journey, tasters, CBTs. Those that have passed the mod 1s, passed the mod 2s, lots of too many to mention. So big well done to them, and also well done to those up and down the country that have been messaging me, continuing to message me on this Messenger, YouTube, sharing, and the videos have helped them achieve their goals. So well done to those too. And yeah, as discussed on Sunday night, yeah, quite happy to do a midweek live stream on mod 2. So that's tonight's live stream. Yeah, that is tonight's live. Get me mouth. That is tonight's live stream. Discussing mod 2 and the sort of most common faults that we can pass on to you, that we have sort of experienced over 20 years of teaching in the Northwest. But as always, anything that's discussed in the videos, discuss it with your instructors also. But what goes on with you and your examiner out on the road is between you guys, isn't it? So that's where we are on it. Okay, so let's have a look then. First of all, who's in? Who is in the chat room? The RJH chat room. Good evening to Paul Keating. Welcome again, Paul, a regular viewer. Good evening, Paul Sugden. Like again, another regular viewer, and JKD Stoke-on-Trent. Yeah, that's what we like to hear, that the videos are helping. The videos are helping. That is what we like to hear. So, I mean, yeah, the channel has got quite a few videos. And when I think of the subscribers that we've got what, 8,500 subscribers, whilst I'm absolutely thrilled to have 8,500 subscribers. I truly believe we could get more subscribers given the content. There are other channels which you're probably all familiar with out there that have a lot more subscribers, but the content isn't possibly as good as ours. But anyway, I'm really pleased. I'd love it to grow further. The live streams seem to be the more popular at the moment. It's certainly a lot quicker for me to set up. The live stream takes less effort for me because, of course, when we're out filming on the bikes and I've got all the 4K and everything, the weather needs to be nice. And it's not only the time, it's the editing side of it and keeping on top of all your equipment charged up and everything. So it takes a lot more time. So at the moment, the sort of favor is on the live streams, and I get a lot more interaction with you guys. But whether that's a cause that the subscribers haven't grown so much, I don't know. Anyway, you know, we will continue to upload and, you know, grow the channel. That's what we want. So yeah, good evening to AW8. Good evening, Sylvia. Welcome. Good evening, Mr. Cookson. Good evening. Nice of you to join us again. So yeah, tonight is all about module 2. But you know, if there's anything that spins off from that, then we'll go along with that. But tonight is all about mod 2. And as we go through the live stream, I'll be referring to links that I've got down in the description of videos that relate to that topic. We've got a lot of videos regarding module 2, which I have got in the description below. And so, you know, that you can then have a look at that at your leisure. And any questions, you can just ping them over. And if we don't know the answers, then we will find the answers for you. So yeah, all about mod 2. We've got Sylvia also. She can contribute on the mod 2 as well. We may see Sophie join us a bit later. I don't know. Graham's not on as yet, whether he will be joining us. But yeah. So what do we want to know about mod 2? We want to know about everything. So we'll start at the beginning and go through. Is that the best way to do it? I think. The live stream playlist has mod 2 previously. It's all there. Maybe 3 or 4 different mod 2s. So, you know, there is a lot of content. Yeah, so John was the 86-year-old, I think, John. John was the 86-year-old. So, mod 2, let's get to it. You can't do your mod 2 without a CBT, a theory test, and a module 1 certificate. So you need CBT certificate, theory test certificate, module 1 test certificate. Unless you're doing, if you're doing an upgrade, certain situations with an upgrade. So if you're going from an A1 to an A2 or an A2 to an A, depending on the age, how long you've had the category lower, you might only need to do a module 1 and module 2. You might not need to do a CBT or a theory test. So just depending on the situation. But let's say, generally speaking, a new rider coming through, you want to get your full bike license. You are going to need a valid CBT, a valid theory test, a valid module 1 test before you can do your module 2 test. All right. And it is the final part of you obtaining your full motorcycle license. So it is the 4th out of the 1, 2, 3, 4. So last 25%, if you like, the last quarter, the last part, depending how you want to look at it. All right, and it is the on-road assessment. It is the 40 minutes on the road assessment. Okay, that is the module 2. All sounds very complicated, but it's not. It's relatively straightforward. If you've got a good training provider, they will take you through every stage. So that's that. I'm 53, so if I do mod 1 and mod 2, does that mean I can go straight to a litre bike? Yes, it does, Paul. You need to do a CBT, you need to do a motorcycle theory test, a module 1 test, and module 2 test. That you're unlimited if you pass your test on the category A bike. So do it on the minimum of 595cc. If you do it on a 125 and A1, you can't ride a litre bike. If you do it on A2 bike up to a 395cc, you can't ride a litre bike. So you need to do the category A direct access. And you need to be over 24 to do that, or you need to be 21 and you've held A2, the lower category, for 2 years. But yes, you can. Good evening, Jason. So that's a little bit about the mod 2 then. Well, they would say that because they'd have to pay some money. But yeah, it's one of those. Shame your instructor didn't take you there and show you it. I think if your instructor took you there and shown you it, you would have been prepared for it. But I could quite see that being difficult in wet weather. Yeah, wet weather. But yeah, the council, look at the state of the roads. The council are, they don't have to put any money into anything if they don't have to. So module 2. You can book it yourself. You can do the test yourself, or you can go through a school. We train a book, so we have mod 2s. We use 8 different test centres. I was at a test centre this morning. There were 2 separate guys. One guy came on the back of, he did it on a BMW 1200. He came as a Pillion without plates on it, and his mate waited at the test centre. Off he goes, and he failed. And another guy came in and did his test. He got his bike out of a van. He had a van, took his bike out of the van and went and did his test, and he failed. So 2 separate guys trying to do it on their own. Don't know whether they're trying to save costs. Don't know. Both failed. So, you cannot, you might pass it, you might, but good training, get a good training school and they'll get you through it. No, they do vary at Portsmouth Test Centre. Generally will have half a dozen different test routes. And those test routes aren't set in stone, depending on roadworks, different things. So they're not set in stone, so they can be slight deviations. But no, a typical test centre will probably have half a dozen different test routes. But test routes, don't worry about test routes. You don't need to know about test routes. You pass in your bike test for your ability to ride a bike in any situation. So don't get hung up about test routes. Right, day your test. Right, what we got then? List of descriptions below, which will help you along. So what's my first thing is, this is a ride and test report, which I'm not using anymore, but I've got a few of these kicking about. The content they'll still use on the marking system, but they use iPads. Okay, so you don't actually get one of these anymore. You get an iPad. And they do all your marking on that. But we will be going through the mod 2 with this, which is the riding test report. DL25 MCA motorcycle. As I say, you're not going to see one of these anyway now. That's what they mark you on, but you'll be signing your declarations and everything at the beginning when you get to the test centre. So always get there on time. Always make sure you got all your right documents. Make sure you know what you're wearing. You should be wearing, and I've got a link in the description below about what you need to wear on your motorbike test. If you're in doubt, speak to your instructors. They know best, because all different test centres have different quirky. Yeah, we've got a test centre that's been a little bit difficult about what students are wearing on their legs. Half an hour down the road, the test set is a little bit more relaxed. So speak to your instructor with your area, and they can help you out. But it's the official DVSA link that I've got to what you, or actually no, say that it's not, I do apologize. It's a video that we've done, that I've done on what you need to wear on your motorbike test. So have a look at it. It's in the description below. Make sure you get there on time. Your instructor will take care of that. Make sure you got all your documents. Your instructor will take care of that, and make sure that you're prepared. Okay, so documentation, what you're wearing, get a good night's sleep. Easier said than done. Forgot to say anyway, only got 3 likes on this video so far. Got a lot of interaction in the chat room, a lot of people there in the chat room. Get liking that video if you don't mind. Yeah, get liking that video. It does help with the YouTube algorithms. Another worth mentioning, another link I've put in my video description below is a video that I've done. First 5 minutes and last 5 minutes of your test. Because the first 5 minutes is a hot spot if you're going to pick up faults, serious faults. The last 5 minutes, given my experience as an instructor, 20 years teaching in the Northwest, the first 5 minutes and the last 5 minutes are your hot spots. Now, the first 5 minutes, nerves. You know, this guy, you're meeting him, you may never have met him before. He's on a big bike, looks like a copper. Doesn't matter. They're human. They're nice guys. The examiners are nice guys, and they're fair. So, you know, and if you know, when you meet somebody, if you have a bit of a laugh with them, they'll respond with you. If you meet them and you've got an attitude, then, you know, they're going to respond to you. So, you know, be your nice, happy, jolly self. They've got a job to do. You've got a job to do. Work it out between the two of you. Show each other respect. So the first 5 minutes, and he could ask you to pull over, and you think, well, shit, what I've done? What have I done? Oh, God. Don't worry. If he asks you to pull over, it's not a problem. Whether it's at the beginning, whether it's end, whether it's in the middle, he could ask you to pull over. I've known an examiner to ask you to pull over at least half a dozen times. And people are wetting their pants thinking, what have I done? What have I done? What have I done? It's nothing like that. He's just making sure that you can pull in and pull out with everything that's going on around you. So he's looking at your observations and stuff like that. Yeah, so don't worry. But I've got a video there, first 5 minutes and last 5 minutes. If your test is in the morning, make sure you get a breakfast. If your test is in the afternoon, make sure you have some lunch. I would say 50% of people that come to do the Module 2 tests with us, they say, not slept all night. I've not eaten anything because I'm too nervous. You are not going to function and perform as well if you've not got brain food and fluids. So make sure that you're not dehydrated. So make sure that you're well, full. You've had a good breakfast or you've had a good dinner. Make sure that you've had plenty of water. Okay, you will perform a lot better. Your concentration is going to be a lot better. So that's a good link there for anybody that's thinking about the Mod 2. Is the first 5 minutes and last 5 minutes. They're the hot spots. And we haven't even got in there yet and got on the bike yet. So there's quite a lot there. Have you heard of it? Is it the 5 Ps? It's a military acronym. 5 Ps. P, poor performance. What is it? I'm not a military guy. But there is a 5 Ps. So P, the first one, I'm not going to say it because there might be ladies listening in. P, poor performance prevents. So make sure you are prepared. So you meet your examiner. You sign the declarations. He checks all your documents. He kits you out with his radio, and he then asks you, he looks at what you're wearing. He then asks you to lead you out the way. Number one on the riding test report is Eyesight. Yeah, Eyesight. Now the description for your Eyesight. Because it is important. You can find it. I've got it back to front. Yeah, did it back to front. So, description on the Eyesight is: at the start of the test, your examiner will ask you to read a vehicle registration number. If you require glasses or contact lenses, then you need to wear them when you're riding. So if you need your contacts or you need your glasses to read the number plate, you need to use them on your test. And you need to be able to read a number plate from 20.5 meters. Now, if you can't do that, generally what will happen is that well, he might give you try another number plate or something, but if you can't read it, he'll go and get a test center manager. And I've seen them where they come out with a tape measure and actually measure it. And if you're not able to read the number plate required, then you know your test will be terminated. All right. Poor planning prevents poor performance. That's it, Jay. Something like that, yeah. Yeah, you got it. So that's the Eyesight, and then he'll ask you to lead your way over to your bike. You'll have a walk around your bike, make sure that L plates are shown, make sure that everything is looking roadworthy. And then he's going to ask you 2 questions. He's going to ask you 2 questions on show me, tell me. So one show me, one tell me, and he'll ask a question on carrying a pillion passenger. In the link in the description below, you can watch these. I've got a video on show me, tell me questions, and I've got a video on pillion passenger questions. So you've got 5 videos there. You've got a video on this, the driving test report. It's the descriptions below. You've got a video on the show me, tell me questions, a video on the pillion passenger questions. You've got a video on what you need to wear on your test, and you've got your first 5 minutes and last 5 minutes. And that's 5 videos there, which are all related to that. And we've not even got on the bike and got out. As far as your Eyesight check goes, if you can't read the number plate, you're going to get a serious fault. Instant fail. You cannot afford to get a serious or a dangerous fault on your test, because that will result in you being unsuccessful. So you don't want a serious, you don't want a dangerous. On your module 2, you can get 10 minor faults. You can get 10 minor faults, okay? And if you're not answering the show me, tell me questions satisfactorily, then you can get a minor fault. All right, so make sure you're comfortable with those. And if you're unfamiliar with your bike, speak to your instructor, make sure you are familiar, because, you know, don't want to be starting off getting faults if you can help it. And 11 minor faults is a fail. 10, you'll pass. 11 is a fail. Come back with 10 minor faults and pass. Nothing to be proud of that. Yes, well done. You've passed your test. But 10 faults, whew, you're playing it close, aren't you? And then it'll be on the bike and your instructions. Yeah, you'll give you a brief, follow the road ahead. Less traffic signs tell you otherwise. He'll explain to you if he wants you to pull over. He'll ask you to do some plenty of time. And that sort of thing. So we give you a little bit of a radio brief. Just treat him as a sat nav when you're out. Sat nav, directions, sat nav. You're not going to chat to you like your instructors do. Now let's have a look then. Quite a bit of a rabbiting on there for me. Let's just go back a little bit and see what we've got going on in the chat room then. Oh, there is quite a lot there. Harry, I think we're up to you there. Harry Goosey, good evening. Harry. Yeah. So if yeah, JKD Stoke-on-Trent. Yeah. So responding to Paul's inquiry about mod 2 test route, always the same. Would you vary it? If the student goes the wrong way, then it's going to vary it, isn't it? But if you go the wrong way on your module 2 test, providing what you're doing is safe, then it's not a problem. So don't think if I go the wrong way, it's a fail. So if you go the wrong way, don't worry about it. The examiner will get you back on track. But if what you're doing is safe, it's not a problem. Okay. Just don't go on towards the motorway. I've got a video on about going on the motorway, and I'm going to put that in the link next time. So I'm going to make a little note of that. I'm not going to look for it now, but motorway. And get a pencil that works. I had a lad, I've only ever had it happen once, but he following the road signs towards the motorway. I've got a pen, so anyway. And of course, that's going to be a test termination. Sean Anderson Bay, is there such thing as advice for CBT? Well, enjoy it. I've got a playlist, Sean, of CBT videos. What is a CBT? Why do you do it? What the history of it? Lots of videos on CBTs. And if you look back on this playlists, I've got a playlist of CBTs. This live stream playlist, I've got live stream CBTs. So go back and have a look, mate. I think the next live stream I do after Sunday will be CBTs again. Yeah, Harry, you had your riding test report for your A1, so that would have been a bit like this. And then for your A2, which is maybe more current, then you just got an email telling you what your faults were. But it's still based on the riding test report. Jay, begin your journey on Saturday doing your CBT. Fantastic. Good luck with that. Let us know how you get on. You can be asked to train extra for a CBT. Yeah, if you're not safe, you might need to do a bit more. Don't think of a CBT if you don't get through as a pass or a fail. It is just basically getting you to a safe standard. And some people need a little bit more time. We all learn differently. Don't think of it as a fail. Think of it as you just need a bit more development. It's not uncommon. Yeah, do not wear trackers and trainers. So always wear denim jeans as a minimum. And if you're going on a geared bike, wear ankle protection boots, something like a walking boot. Yeah, 3.5mm jack earpiece. Some getting a bit easier now. Check with your instructor, because different test centers, again, I've got a test center that you have to have your own earpiece. Half an hour down the road, another test center, they use their own earpieces. So, the standards, it's not a consistent standard. Check with your instructor and he'll know what your test center is requiring. Absolutely, Harry, spot on. They are bikers and they do want to see more bikers on the road. Paul Sugman, yeah, examiners, 99% of examiners are good. There are one or two of what we call the dinosaurs, the old school examiners. When I came into the industry 20 years ago, there's examiners I can think of in our sort of whole area. There's probably two that I know that I would call what we call a dinosaur. But 99%, all the others, absolutely spot on. Nice lads. Yeah, that's it. If you can get a bit of a conversation going with them, they're all right. As I say, when you meet them, it's that when you're meeting them, if you've got attitude, then it'll it's not going to go as well, is it? If you go in and you've got a nice manner about you, personable, then all helps. Yeah, good. Good evening, Brycey. 8:40 a.m. Yeah, I was up. I was up at 4:30 this morning. Out the house by 5:15. I unlocked the Manchester training school before 6 o'clock. I had students arriving at 6:30, and my first test was at 8 o'clock. So, yeah. You will need a good breakfast, Harry. You're absolutely right. Law makes it an offence to drive with poor eyesight, same distance. Yeah, well, your test won't go ahead if you can't read a number plate. Then you won't do your test. Mr. David Fairley, good evening, David. Welcome to the live stream. Are you a new viewer, David? Or have you been with us before, mate? Stephen Griff, I had your third CBT Sunday. Instructor let me ride his bike back to the centre. Must be a good rider then. No problem, Sean. Anybody that's new onto the channel, if you've not subscribed, please do subscribe. It really does make a big difference, okay? The likes, the subscriptions, the comments. The comments are so important. Evening, Mr. Carl Crompton. Yeah, independence, generally the easy part. Follow the road signs for whatever. Generally, that's the easy part. But again, if you go the wrong way, don't worry about it. But yeah, your roadcraft needs, your OSM PSL needs to be there. So yeah, independent though generally is not a problem. Yeah, observations are important. Yeah, not a problem. Okay, so good. We're up to the top. We're up back onto the chat, and we're going to then think about. So everything's in order. You've signed everything. He's happy with everything. Everything's good. Onto the bike. Away you go. There isn't any maximum AWA, so it's a rumor that 3 minor faults will make a serious. And I've had 3 minor faults as a serious, but then I've had 5 minor faults and somebody's passed. Just depends on you and your examiner in your ride. There isn't any set amount of minors in a category will be a serious. So don't get too hung up with that. But remember, you know, if you are getting 3 of a specific, if you are that is a pattern developing. It's a pattern of development that is going to be needed. But there isn't any set. And Harry, no, Daisy has not done her CBT yet. She has not done her CBT yet. She's been busy. She did stay over our house a few nights ago. She was out in Manchester celebrating her qualifications, but no CBT as yet, but watch this space. So onto the bike. Remember, your test has started. So observations leaving the test centre car park, very important, and take into account anybody that's in the test centre car park, other learners. Yeah, so if there's learners doing any manoeuvres and stuff in the cars, right, just be patient. You don't want to be bulldozing your way through. So good consideration to what's going on around you at all times. Okay, and away you go. And that's where what you're going to be out for, 35 minutes. All he wants to do is see that you're safe. All he wants to do is see that you are safe. So let's have a look at number, you've done 1 and 1B questions. Basically up to then 13 really is your module 1. They're going to be marked on module 1, although 11 and 12 is also going to be on your, so say, yeah, number 1A and 1B, and then if we look at number 11 onwards, 11, 12 onwards there. So number 11 is moving away. Now, I have got in the description below a link to a video that I've done moving off on your test. So it shows you what you need to be thinking about. And OSM PSL, where you can stop, where you can't stop, and what would happen if you stopped here, what would happen if you stopped there. And also in the description below, can I stop on double yellow lines? So I've got a video on that subject, because on your test, you can stop on double yellow lines. It's certain situations, other situations you can't. So watch those videos below. That is on moving away, number 11. The description, you need to show you're able to move off smoothly and safely on a level or a gradient and angle to take an effective observation. So, remember what I said, he could ask you to pull over about half a dozen times. It's not uncommon. It could be just to explain the independent ride, and it could be once you're moving off on a hill. It could be once you're moving off behind a parked car. I've got them all on here, all on those videos. But all he wants to do is see that you're doing it safely and you're not interrupting anybody. Control. So yeah, control what you've developed for your module 1, how you use your controls, how you brake, how you use your gears, how you incorporate those observations moving off. All that you want to follow on to mod 2. But number 12, that's all relative to your module 2. Throughout the test, you need to show that you can use all the controls smoothly and at the correct time. This results in less wear and tear on your machine and a safer, smoother ride for any passengers. Just run it over, Carl. If a rabbit or a squirrel runs across, run it over. Don't want to be doing any hazard avoidance to try and avoid it, by the way. So number 13, rear observations. Okay, so rear observations before you signal, change direction, change speed. Number 13, rear observations. So let's have a look at description. Also, what I've got in down below again, and I keep telling you to have a look down below, but I've got a video there, rear observations explained in demonstration. That's me doing it. It's an old video, but it's a great video. A lot of keyboard warriors telling me that when I'm talking, but ignore that. The content is spot on. It's rear observations explained and a demonstration. You won't get much better than that. But number 13, rear observations. You should use the mirrors fitted to your machine safely and effectively. Where mirrors were not sufficient, for example, cover blind spots, then you must take rear observations lifesaver. You should always have checked carefully before signaling, changing direction, or changing speed. You should have shown you can use the OSM PSL routine effectively. So check that video out. Rear observations explained and a demonstration. So who's got their mod 2 tomorrow? It was was it? Somebody said they had the mod 2 tomorrow, 8:40. So you want to be watching these videos. Links below. Watch the videos. Get yourself, if you've not already watched them. Instruction often given to position close to near side on left turns, minor to major. I've since been told 1 foot or less is a major dangerous fault. 1 meter. You need the key word AWA. The key word is be flexible. Yeah. So what's in the gutter? 1 meter. Close the door. Nothing can ride alongside. Get close to the 1 meter. Yeah, you could pick up a serious because you could be on the drains and stuff like that. A meter, but be flexible. That's the key. Be flexible. 1 position to turn left, 3 position to turn right. And if you have a look on the descriptions below, how to approach T-junctions using OSM PSL. There is a video there explaining it. 71047 bus lanes, Jason. Again, in the description below, how to use bus lanes. No times of operation. Do not go in it. Monday to Friday, 71047. So at 8:40, do not go in it. But you need to read the information that is available to you. Okay. Yeah, I don't work in feet. It's a meter. 1 meter is what we teach. 1 meter. So that's number 13, rear observation. Number 14, signals. Necessary, correctly, and timing. Got a great video in the description below. Again, a great video of a common fault with indicating is not turning it off. Is it on there? Yeah. Top tips. So this is my top tips to ensure you cancel your indicators, and that's been well received, that video. That is all the best, Paul. Thanks for joining us. That is my top tip, making sure you cancel your indicators. So watch that one. But yeah, you need to be indicating at junctions, roundabouts, letting people know, indicating moving off, pulling in if it's necessary. The indicators, you know, if you're turning left and right at junctions, if you're using roundabouts, you're going to be indicating. You've got to be indicating. But you know, if you're pulling into the side of the road, is it necessary to indicate? Well, it might be. If somebody around is going to benefit, then make sure they are. If you know, if you're moving off, do you need to indicate? Well, there's no right or wrong. But is somebody going to benefit from it? If somebody will benefit from it, then absolutely. Key thing is, if you are using it, make sure you turn that indicator off. No, 1 meter AW8, 1 meter is sufficient. Position 1, left turn, 1 meter is about, you know, if you think of where the 2 double yellow lines are, it's the outside double yellow line, just round about there, just outside of that double yellow line. That's about 1 meter. Clearance to obstructions. So meter again, meter, isn't it? Clearance to obstructions. So clearance to obstructions, number 15. You need to give parked vehicles and other obstructions safe clearance when passing. Watch out for changing situations, such as pedestrians walking out in between parked cars, doors open and vehicles trying to move off. Be prepared to slow down and stop if needed. And that's the key, is the speed. Give your speed. You know, you can't just go racing around, can you? Get your speed under control. But you do need to give sufficient distance to stationary vehicles and oncoming vehicles if they're on your side of the road and stuff like that. Correct. Yeah, closing the door, we call it. 1 meter from the curb, cyclists shouldn't get through that. Just past the skin of my teeth was his words. Huh? Well, a pass is a pass. But yeah, pass is a pass. Well done. Ball bag. Matt, gonna watch all your video, Rob. Get me ready for... Absolutely, Matt. Are you a new viewer, mate? If you are a new viewer, get subscribed. A lot of content on this channel will help you out. Take out of it what you need. Use it with your instructors if you've got an instructor. And if you've got any questions, ping them over. We will get back to you. We're pretty good in responding. Pretty good at responding. Well done, Matt. Thank you very much. 16, response to signs and signals. You must show that you can read correctly all traffic signs, road markings, traffic lights, pedestrian crossings, obey signals given by police officers, traffic wardens, highways agency officers, or school crossing patrols. You need to watch out for signs given by other road users and ride on only when you're safe, satisfied it's safe. Yeah, I mean, if you're going around and missing the signs, you've got a problem. If you're not picking out that information, you're going to have a problem. And whether that's one-way roads, that's a common one, one-way roads, whether it's speed signs, stuff like that, stop junctions, I mean, a whole range of them, isn't it? But Matt, I've got a video. I don't know if I've got it in the description below, but riding in the rain. I have a video about riding in the rain. It's not down below, but if you go through my playlists, I have got top tips. You'll find it as one of the older ones, but there is a top tips riding in the rain, because you know, you do need to wear the right gear. You do need to take necessary precautions. So response to signs and signals, that is a big one. And on tests, you know, if you're doing the speed, you're doing 30 in a 20, or you're doing 20 in a 40, or you're doing 60 on a dual carriageway with a national speed sign on it, central reservation should be 70. You know, if you're not at the speed because you're not picked out the signs, and we've got problems, haven't we? You know, if you're turning right in a one-way road, you're going down a one-way road, and at the end of it, you're turning right. You know, you need to be right over to position 6, if you like, if you turn right. You need to be on the other, what would be the other side of the road, but people don't. They just get confused and don't. So, response to signs and signals, and I think most riders that we present for test, if they are not from that test area, they observe the signs better. So I can take a rider to somewhere they've never ever been before, and they can ride better than if they were at their hometown, if that makes sense. All right. So bear that in mind. Response to signs and signals are really, really important. Okay, response to signs and signals. I'm not saying that nothing on the test report is important, because it is. But if you're not picking out your information, then you're going to have problems. Number 17, use of speed. So number 17, use of speed. Now the description. You should have made safe and reasonable progress, keeping in mind the road, traffic, and weather conditions. Road signs and speed limits. You need to show confidence based on sound judgment, remembering at all times that you must be able to stop within the distance you can see the road to be clear. And that's a good, you know, guide. Always be able to stop in the distance you can see. Matt, I've got a video, not on the description below, but I've got a video review of my rucker gear, which is laminated Gore-Tex. Take a look at it. You get what you pay for. So 100% Gore-Tex. Laminated Gore-Tex is as good as it gets. So use of speed is important. Okay, use of speed is important. Give yourself time. So limits are limits, they're not targets, but get up to speeds, but be flexible again, depending on what's going on around. What's going on around. Remember that key point, always be able to stop in the distance you can see to be clear. Number 18, following distances. So on the report, you should have kept a safe distance between you and the vehicle in front. You should have been able to stop safely well within the distance you can see the road to be clear. Leave extra distance in wet or slippery conditions. Leave sufficient space when stopped in traffic queues. So two different scenarios then. When you're traveling, think of 2 seconds rule or 4 seconds rule. A 2 second rule or a 4 second rule. So 2 seconds, only a full breaks a 2 second rule in dry conditions. In wet conditions, double it, 4 seconds. It's going to take a little bit longer to stop. When you're behind traffic, it's stationary like traffic lights or a junction, couple of bike lengths. Allow enough room you can get around that vehicle if you need to. Now, if you're on a gradient behind stationary, say traffic lights on a gradient, if you're behind traffic on the gradient, if it was maybe a heavier goods vehicle, think about just allowing a little bit more room because it might roll back. If they roll back, you don't want to be in the way of it. Filtering on mod 2, Jason? No, we don't teach filtering. In 20 years of instructing and presenting people for tests, I think I've had on one occasion the examiner is sort of advised the trainee on test, if you want to filter it, then I will follow you, I'll filter through with you. But generally, I think it was a road traffic congestion, but the examiner could be in a car, so he ain't going to be able to follow you. So I would say no, but never say never. I wait to be encouraged to do it rather than just doing it on your own. Bullbag, I did my test in the rain. Both me and an examiner fell off our bikes on the same newly laid road. We got back on our bikes and carried on. I still got the pass. Fantastic. Bloody hell, that's would like to have seen that. Did you get it on film? Excuse me. So following distance. Number 19, progress. Appropriate speed, undue hesitation. So number 19, you need to show that you can ride at a realistic speed appropriate to the road and traffic conditions. You should have approached all hazards at a safe, controlled speed without being too cautious or affecting other road users. It's been ready to move junctions as soon as it's safe to correct to do so. Riding too slowly can create dangers for others. It can, and so you need to be on the bike. You don't want to be uncomfortable on the bike. Uncomfortable on a bike, you need more saddle time. And mindset is junctions, roundabouts. If it's clear for you to go, go. Don't wait for your examiner. Don't wait. Don't think, oh, I'll wait so he can follow me. They're not after that. If it's safe for you to go, go. All right. The more you hear him say, thanks very much, Rob, find somewhere safe, pull over. The more you hear that, it means you're getting on with your own ride. So get on with your own ride. And if you're not getting up to speeds and things, if you are, you're going to be all hesitant. If you're not taking those opportunities to go, you're going to be hesitant. You're going to be picking up, potentially, you're going to be picking up faults. I want to see a smooth, well-planned, up to the limits, safe ride. Number 20, junctions. So junctions including roundabouts. Right, in the descriptions below, I've got how to approach T-junctions using OSM PSL. I've got how to use roundabouts, fantastic video on how to use roundabouts, and roundabouts. Okay, really, really good. So as far as the junctions, number 20 goes, including roundabouts, your examiner looks to see that you deal safely with road junctions, the use of OSM PSL. So that's procedure. That's observation, signal, maneuver, position, speed. Look, it's position and approach, speed and observations are essential to negotiating junctions and roundabouts safely. Turning right across busy roads, dual carriageways is particularly dangerous. You need to be confident that you can judge your speed and distance of oncoming traffic safely. You need to look out for other road users emerging and turning at junctions and be ready to move or stop. You need to be extra careful, watchful in poor light or bad weather conditions or more vulnerable road users such as cyclists and other motorcyclists. So it is all about speed needs to be important, don't it? Speed gives you the ability to observe. So OSM PSL. But as I say, description below, some fantastic videos, how to approach T-Junctions, OSM PSL. And these are demonstrations that I've done. How to use roundabouts, again, these are all videos that I've done, and how to use mini roundabouts. Okay, there's also a couple there which is how to use bus lanes. That could do with being up with the traffic signs and signals. I might see if I can change that at another stage. And also how to approach Toucan Crossing, Pedestrian Crossing. There's Toucan, Pegasus, Pelican, there's loads of different ones. How to approach them, all very, very similar. So that could do with being moved up as well, but that I can do that as another time. So yeah, OSM, PSL, junctions and roundabouts. So watch those videos. Any questions, you can let me know. 21 might get an opportunity to overtake. Probably more likely to get an opportunity to overtake on a dual carriageway. But, you know, if you're out on a road, countries and things, you might get a tractor or something like that. But key thing with any overtake, make sure that it's safe, make sure that it's going to be of benefit to you, and make sure, you know, that you're not breaking speed limits and stuff like that. It's probably one of the most dangerous maneuvers you're going to be doing on the road, because you're traveling on the wrong side of the road, going the wrong direction. So it's very dangerous. Make sure it's got to assess it. You've got to assess it. You might get opportunities, you might not. Dual carriageways, you're more likely to get opportunities to overtake. Judgment when meeting traffic. So meeting traffic, be flexible with your position. You don't want to be interfering with anybody. You don't want to be too close to stationary traffic. You don't want to be too close to oncoming traffic if they're on your side of the road. It's getting that balance, isn't it? And it's all about forward planning. But do not interfere with other road users. Do not make any road users change speed. Judgment crossing. So you're turning right, crossing traffic, oncoming traffic. Make sure that you're not, again, make sure you've got your judgment of their speed right. Make sure you're not interfering with anybody, and take advantage of them. If they flash your lights at you and it's interpreted correctly, they might encouraging you to cross. If it's safe, take advantage. On test, take advantage. But any judgment, overtaking, filtering, meeting, said we're not going to really be doing filtering, meeting traffic, crossing traffic. It's all about safety and not interfering with other road users. Number 21 description. Your examiner assesses judgment skills throughout the test. You need to show sound judgment when overtaking, filtering, meeting or crossing the path of other road users. You should have only done so when safe and legal, making your intentions clear and being sure you understand the intentions of other road users. Okay, moving on to number 22, which is position in normal riding lane discipline. I have got a video in the description below, how to be flexible in your road position. So a demonstration, a little bit of a talk through on that. You've got 3 positions in your lane, 1, 2 and 3. And there's no right or wrong position to be in at a specific time. It's just going to depend on what is going on around you, whether that be road surface, whether it be obstructions, stuff like that. I suppose what is important to mention on that positioning is observation. So you should have positioned your position as a general rule in the center of your lane, command position. You should have kept clear of parked vehicles and pushed yourself correctly for the direction you intend to take. Where lanes are marked, you should have kept to the middle of the lane and avoided straddling lane markings. You should not change lanes when not needed. Be aware of where you are at all times, as other road users judge what you may do based on this, which is right. It doesn't say much there about observation, but if you are changing road position, make sure you take effective rear observation. Oh, 23 pedestrian crossings. It is further, that's fine. And I've got a video there of a Toucan crossing, which you can have a look at that one. But pedestrian crossing, you need to identify the different types. Really should do them all, shouldn't I? When I get a spare session, I'll do them all. But what we've got Toucan, you've got Pelican, Pegasus, is it? You've got Toucan, Pelican, you've got a Zebra. So there's different ones, but approach them all the same. Scan around for pedestrians. If it's a controlled where they press the button, anticipate them pressing the button. You can see that, quarter of a mile down the road, can't you? So you can see somebody walking up, anticipate it. Zebra crossing, you might see somebody stood there waiting. So if they stood there waiting or walking up to it and you think they're going to cross, come to a stop and let them make the decision. Don't be beckoning anybody. Let them make the decision. The pedestrian crossing, you need to identify the different types of pedestrian crossing and take the correct action. You should have timed your approach to crossing so that you're traveling at a speed which will allow you to stop safely if you need to do so. You need to pay particular attention when crossings are obscured by queuing or parked vehicles and show consideration for elderly or infirm pedestrians who are trying to cross the road. So just being respectful. Okay, 24, position in normal stops, which I've got the, moving off position for normal stops. Moving off on your test, so watch that video. You need to choose safe, legal, convenient place to stop close to the edge of the road where you'll not obstruct the road and create a hazard. You should know how and where to stop without causing danger or inconvenience to other road users. Also, I've got there is can you stop on double lines? So those two videos are really important. You could get moving off exercises half a dozen times at least on your test. Good evening, Lisa. Good evening, Lisa from sunny Spain. Robert Canning, that's the second motorbike training firm folded, only one left. This time you opened up in Glasgow. Biker Right are retiring November. The other firm folded due to COVID. One more left. Yeah, we've had one local go in the north. I heard in the last 24 hours another one's gone. And yeah, so and we're still looking at opening a site number 4 at the moment, which should all be well before Christmas. And the other one that's closed down or gone, I've made inquiries about, so it could be site 5. But anyway, so we are looking at more sites. But yeah, so retirement. Some schools, they are at an age they're retiring. I mean, I want to retire now, but I've still got a few more years, and I have got. I'm quite fortunate we're getting younger generation in, so we're encouraging younger instructors, we're encouraging younger workforce. So, and that for me, that's so important. We've been looking at that for the last few years now, but certainly no intention of closing at the moment. Looking at expanding. So where were we? Position normal stops, got those couple of videos there, yeah. And 25 awareness and planning. Examiner will have looked to see if you are aware of other road users at all times. You should always think and plan ahead so you can judge what other road users are going to do. Predict how their actions will affect you and react in good time. Anticipate road and traffic conditions and act in good time rather than reacting to them at the last moment. Take particular care to consider the actions of the more vulnerable road users, such as pedestrians, cyclists, and motorcyclists and horse riders. Come on to horse riders in a minute. Reminds me, I've got a video on horse riding, how to deal with a horse rider. But yeah, the further down the road, the further you identify hazards, the more time you've got to deal with it. And that is the key. The key is to give yourself more time. Gives you more time to think, gives you more time to respond in a safe way. I can't emphasize that as much as what, and I don't mean give yourself time by slowing down and going slow everywhere, because you don't need to. It's about planning ahead. The further you can plan, the further you can identify, the more time you've got to deal with stuff. And that's what I mean. That is what I mean. Now, what did I say on here? It was horse rider. Couple of videos. Rain, riding in the rain. So awareness and planning, really, really important, and always go for your safest option. Number 26, bends. So bends, country lanes, positioning, 1 on a right-hand bend, position 2 on a left-hand bend. Stay away from the white line. Approach to a bend is really, really important. So approach, your speed, your positioning, and making sure you're in the correct gear. Okay? They are the key points to approaching and executing bends. We don't want to see brake lights on bends. We don't want to see changing gear on bends. It's all about that forward planning, approaching at a correct manner. And then finally, also on there, eco-safe. So there is a section on eco-safe. Yeah, so always travel in the highest possible gear you can. Better for the environment, better for the wear and tear on your bike, better for your fuel consumption. So do think about riding in a correct gear. It does make a big difference. So listen to the engine. And they're pretty much what's on the sort of score sheet. Quite a lot of links to videos below. Found another one. There's another one I said I was going to put on, but I can't remember which one it was. So I'll have to put my thinking cap onto that, but I can have a play around with that later. So quite a lot there, which I hope you find useful. So on passing your test, and I've put a video down here, if I can find it. And the video is what happens with your license. What happens with your license when you pass your test? Because the examiner can take it off you if you want and apply for your new one. And there is a video explaining all of that, because what I would certainly recommend is that your photo, take a photo of the front of your license, take a photo of the back of your license to make sure that when you do get your license back, you've got all of the correct categories on it. And generally get your license back in about 10 days, 2 weeks, generally. So quite a lot going on there, isn't it? It's quite a lot there. And that's taken about an hour and 10 minutes. It's been a good evening. Yeah, absolutely. Different areas are going to be different. So, you know, we've got some test centers that are really busy. Other test centers a little bit, yeah. So it just depends where you go. But, you know, a test is a test, and you're there for one reason, and that reason is that you want to pass. All right. So don't go unprepared. Remember those 5 P's. P-I-S-S-P, poor preparation prevents. Can't think of it. I'm going to Google it. 5 P's, and then I'll get it right for you. Military. Oh, 7 P's. 7 P's. I thought the 5 one I had. There you go. So proper planning and preparation prevents PISS, poor performance. How's that? Proper prior planning prevents PISS, poor performance. It's quite a lot there. Options. Prior proper planning prevents PISS, poor performance. Positive pre-planning prevents PISS, poor performance. So it's all about getting yourself prepared. So are we happy? There were a few that wanted the Module 2 live stream tonight. Some of the watchers on Sunday encouraged the live stream for Module 2 tonight. And what I will do is the next live stream, I'll do another one next Wednesday. It'll be on the CBT training. I'll have the Sunday night Bob the Biker question time with Bob the Biker. So Sunday night, Bob the Biker question time. Wednesday night, a week tonight, is CBT. And Monday night, I'm going to do a quick live stream because I've got Oliver who's done some work on the branding. We've got some new branded gear, which is absolutely fantastic. And I just want to have a very quick video on that. We've got bobble hats, we've got beanie hats, we've got some really great quality cotton baseball caps branded, polo shirts, sweatshirts, hooded tops. We've got a real good collection of branded merchandise. So any of our what we call super fans, you know, you can take a look, and if you want to purchase any, the links will be there. KK Adventures was one of them. Fantastic. So has the live stream been of any use? I hope so. Hopefully it'll just give you that little bit of an edge, which can be the difference between not being successful and being successful. Important thing with any of it, any of your training, is enjoy it. If you don't enjoy it, then put a bit more training in. You know, when you're riding well, when you're confident, when you're comfortable, you will enjoy it, because it doesn't get much better than riding around on 2 wheels. So it's enjoyable. So as I said, Mod 2 live stream. Hope it helps you out. And I am just about done. So what is the time? I'm going to go and watch a film and have a cup of coffee. Yeah, I can watch a film before I go to bed. I've got another early start tomorrow. So, yeah, I think I'm going to be saying goodnight. And I wish you all well. Thanks for watching. Thanks for contributing. And, you know, enjoy the rest of the week. If you're out on the bikes, ride safe, ride well. And I will be back at 8 o'clock on Sunday for question time with Bob the biker. And yeah, we'll see what comes up from that. So I'm blabbering on now. It's been a long day, and I'm going to go and have a cup of coffee and watch one of my films, whether it be Braveheart or my favourite, Last Samurai, one of those, wind down for a couple of hours before getting to bed. All right, so thanks for watching, everybody, and speak to you all soon.